Should the Cowboys pay Pickens or go with Brian Thomas? Do both and score 50 burger. Yeah, I said it. I ain't study either. Do both, 50 burger. Both of them. Pickens or Thomas Jr. Yeah, I said it. Do both. So we go talk about it on this show. Because obviously it's a lot of love going on for George Pickens. And there's some noise out there about Thomas Jr. on this trade. Right? So it's teams are stupid sometimes. I'm explaining this. Donna Rossini, I'm sorry. She posted him. Yep. As somebody that the Jags is looking to trade. This is something Dallas Cowboys should be interested in. Yeah, they should be interested in this one. So I'm explaining it. I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna break it all the way down why I think they could do it, and it makes sense a lot of ways. So first, this stream is brought to you by Sleeper app. All right. So with the Sleeper app, go for a Hail Mary on Sleeper picks and win up to 100 times your money. Use promo code BCS and Sleeper will 100% match your first deposit up to $100 instantly. So this is why the Dallas Cowboys should be interested in this. Because first of all, I've already done a lot of content on these guys. People that's also being looked at and rumored about, I'm gonna do something about Trey likely in the morning. But yeah, it's a lot of noise going out there before Tuesday on the trade deadline, right? So, but the names out there are big names, and they are really kind of like the faces of the franchise. It's very hard for teams to get rid of those type of guys. It is. It's more so because those guys bring optimism. Literally, they bring optimism to the fans, right? They big ticket items. They jersey sell a lot. It's more than just the talent. A lot of times, it's the economic value of those guys. So if we've been realistic about trades, it's a two-way street, right? It's a two-way street. So it's better when names are being leaked like they're being shot, like what's going on right now with Thomas. And Thomas is somebody that's very interesting because I have a long history of studying receivers and how to transition receivers in and out of a franchise. I've probably done the most research on this probably than anybody. I'm almost certain I did that because what started me on this campaign is when Dez was being rumored, that he was going to be terminated. So I want to make sure that transition was going to be smooth. And obviously we know that transition wasn't smooth, but it ended up working out with us because we ended up going with something. So let me explain real quick. First, the background of my thinking. Basically, my thinking on all this came from when I first started doing research. And it was two things that I noticed when I started going back and I was trying to figure out the proper way to transition Dez out, right? And I was saying at the time, the best way, because I did research on it, is two types of transitions that teams will do. Disciples, where they get a receiver that's under an existing number one. That's called discipling a receiver. And when a receiver is discipled, from my research, the success rate on that receiver having a successful career is as high as 95%. But if you get a receiver to come in on what's called a hero, that's the second category, where they're coming in to be the primary guy, the number one, they a lot of times struggle. And it flips. The success ratio flips. The success ratio is only 5%. So And in that 5%, when you came in to be a hero, more than likely, you were somebody that was a bigger target. So let's just take a look at it. Then I'm going to get into Brian Thomas and George Pickens. So if you go look at it, these are hero receivers right here. So you remember AJ, bigger receiver. He was successful, right? He was a bust, right? Then you had Blackman. He started early, successful, became a bust, but he should have been a baller. Patterson never really panned out as a receiver, even though he was a first rounder. Never. Tavon Austin. Benjamin had a good year one as a bigger receiver, and then he fell off. But Watkins, that was the one that shocked a lot of people out of Clemson. 4.3 speed, great career out of Clemson, looked like a shoe-in, but he was drafted to be the primary target in Buffalo, and so when you drafted to be the hero, Perriman farted. Yeah, bust. Because it's hard to be the primary guy. White, same thing. 4.3 speed, killed the combine, passed out a test, looked like a shoe-in. Was drafted to be the primary receiver, and fell off a cliff. Fell off a cliff. And I looked at all these guys. I looked Coleman, same thing. Lit it up in college. Fast time, did everything right. Looked like he was gonna shoe in. Drafted to be the primary receiver with the Browns. Yeah. And we know he busted. You know, we should have known he was gonna be a bust from his 40. Corey Davis, see, that's another one. Had 2,000 yards in 1 year. Was the number one receiver taken. Williams and John Ross, all of them was drafted to be heroes. So the heroes that usually end up doing it though is, again, I already showed you, they usually your bigger, like Sutton was a hero. He was drafted to be the number one, and he actually panned out. But them people like if they CeeDee Lamb, his height and weight, if he would have been drafted to another team and not discipled by Amari, I almost promise you, that's a lot of pressure to take on for a rookie. And they usually get in their head and they don't come out of it. So then let's take a look at the other group. So the disciples. So remember, Roddy was the first one, the number one, but then he discipled Julio, who came in as the number two. And then after that, it was Ridley. And it would perfectly transition. Also with San Francisco. What happened with San Francisco? Ayuk, yeah, he came in under Debo. Greatly worked. No problem, right? Smooth transition. Even the great Justin Jefferson. Why did he hit it off so well? Yeah, he came in under Thielen. He was discipled. Yeah. And so then, look at Dez. Dez didn't just come in as the number one. He was discipled. Yeah. And even when Amari Cooper came in to take over for Dez, he was discipled by Crabtree. So the success rate of when receivers are discipled, come in as the number two, and then transition into the number one, that shit worked. That's why I knew CeeDee Lamb was going to be all right. I said, man, he going to sit under Amari for a couple of years, and then when Amari moves on, CeeDee Lamb go just ascend to the number one, and he did. And remember, it was some people that doubted CeeDee Lamb. So what does that have to do with now Brian Thomas and George Pickens? Because now what we talking about is the chances of you being able to potentially replace Pickens if he don't want to sign. People got to think about that. Dallas Cowboy Nation, we got to think about that. What if George Pickens don't want to sign back to Dallas? That's a possibility. Have we forgot who his agent is? His agent is the So like, if I'm being a Cowboy fan and not a player fan, I gotta think about what's the best way to make sure that the Cowboys will go come out of this okay, right? Because you don't think George Pickens has massive leverage? George Pickens has now massive leverage. I just did a film breakdown where I proved that the Denver Broncos was doubling him while CD was on the and putting their best corner on him. You don't think David go show up and have a conversation about that? You don't think David go say, hey, wait. We need to talk. We need to have us a conversation. We got film evidence that defenses are actually treating who you consider the number 2 like the number 1. So why wouldn't he get paid like your number 1? You don't think you don't think that's gonna happen? That's gonna happen. And Pickens is not gonna be his fault. His agent gotta work, and his agent is gonna be working to get him that bag. See, somebody gotta tell y'all the truth, man. I know, man, shut up, boss. They need to pay him now. See, when you come to that table and you start talking about, okay, let's pay him, he gonna be like, yeah, well, let's talk. And he gonna have some numbers for your. So what's going to protect the Cowboys? And on top of that, what's gonna make sure that if Pickens was to go away, what's gonna make sure that Dallas still has their number 2? Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. And see, this is the guy that actually succeeded and literally succeeded as a hero. And I told y'all that's a 5% success rate. He came in and got 1,200 yards as a rookie with 10 tuds. 10 of them things. You hear me? And then we go, no, boss, no, I'm not interested in that plan. But just pay him. Just no, wait. Let's also think about this, y'all. Let's also think about this. I want y'all to really think about this too. This man runs a 4.3. Okay. He runs a 4.3. Okay. And more than just that 4.3 speed, this man would also now be being discipled by Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Can we think about that? Like, so if Dallas made a trade for him now and said, F that pick, give them a number 1, give them a first rounder for. I do want y'all to know that Brian Thomas was out of that whole class. He outperformed that whole class last year. All the ones that they said was supposedly be way better than him, he came in as the hero and basically flipped on everybody's head. But I promise you, it's Cowboy fans that hate this plan because they so in love with George Pickens. And my thing is this. Shit. If you go ahead and trade for him now you got basically 3 number 1s.
You want answers? You can't handle the truth.
So put it like this. If your defense so trash, well, hell, let's just outscore the hell out of people. Why can't we do that? Why can't we just up it from 40 burgers and make it 50, damn it? Huh? Why can't we do that? Because this is the thing. If you do go after Brian Thomas and give away that first, you would have more than what you had with Amari. in terms of years left on this contract. You would have 3 years of rights for Brian Thomas versus your time is going to expire on Pickens now. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? To me, I want 3 years. That's going to be much cheaper than 1 year where we playing with tags, holdouts, games from David Mulligan. Yeah, forget all the games, bro. And then they could also come in and compete. What do you mean compete? Well, if you go get Brian Thomas, if you give away a first and say, hey man, let's go crazy. You not only setting up Dak this year, you setting up Dak for the next 3 years. So you have a weapon that's sitting there with him, not a weapon where it's expiring. So listen, man, I know sometimes my ideas might shock y'all. I'd be like, damn, boss. But listen, I really do get this stuff thought. And I want the Cowboys to be first. I don't want David to have all the leverage. I want the Cowboys to have some leverage too. One of the best ways to have leverage is to have another dog sitting right there with you that can make plays. And see, I already got the film breakdown. Oh my God, don't son him. Don't son him. Did you just son him? Boss, I don't like that plan. Yeah, well, I put it like this. Sometimes you ain't gonna get these defensive guys. You gotta go with BPA. And BPA just might be Brian Thomas. And I'm open for it. I'm not over here like, we don't need him, we need defense. Well, shit. Well, you'll have more cash in your coffers to maybe get defense in the offseason. Because if you spend all that cash on Pickens, I don't want to hear nothing about we don't got the cash to go get D. Because you paid, because you had to tag them. And that tag is $30 million, and it came all out that salary cap all at once. See, a lot of people don't understand that's how the tag works. If you tag a player, that whole amount is coming out of that year's cap. You can't finance that tag. Versus you gonna have a much less amount with Brian Thomas where you'll be able to get that defense. So just stay with your boy, boss, man. I'm trying to throw out some real ideas that can take us somewhere. So if you like this type of content where we thinking outside the box and then we pushing the Dallas Cowboys to make out of the box trades, which I know a lot of people not gonna like this because we need defense, boss. We need defense. Yeah, just be open minded, man. Just be open minded. So yeah. So anyway, man, it's your boy Boss Show Me, bringing you another one. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe for your boy. I'm out.